Hello everyone, and welcome to another review. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Miller Harris. I've never done a fragrance from this house, and I was actually just reminded by a post that I saw on Facebook today, and I realized, hey, I actually got and had completed my Miller Harris, information and stuff like that. All I need to do is put together the review, and here it is. So today we're going to go ahead and review Feuilles de Tabac from Miller Harris. Now, I know it's a little bit hard to see here, but this is the design of the bottle. Now, you're going to see this, it doesn't really have a stopper, and that's because the way that the fragrance comes, it comes with just a screw-on cap, and it kind of serves as an aftershave splash, or you can screw this one on and have a little sprayer to kind of go with it. This is significant in a couple of ways, but I'll get to it in a bit. Now, this fragrance was released in the year 2000. The parfumée is Lynn Harris, basically, and she's the one who's created the Miller Harris line. This fragrance was part of the initial line. These fragrances have been being created. This one was created in the year 2000. I think the most recent fragrance that she's put out is in the year 2013, or last year, basically. So, still going strong with release of fragrances. There are a lot of fragrances that are associated with this. This one in particular is one of the flagship ones, right? Now, this can be found in two main sizes, 3.4 and 1.7. 3.4 is going to run you about $145, and the 1.7 is going to run you around $95, I believe, dollars. So it's a little bit more expensive fragrance. So I would say a really high price designer / niche type of a fragrance pricing. So let's go ahead and start off with the notes for this fragrance. The notes at the top, we have pimento. For our mid, we have sage and pine needles. And for our base, we have tonka, patchouli, and tobacco. Alright, so what I get from this scent, right off the bat, I get a nice little tobacco type of a scent. I've got some pine needles that kind of comes up in it. Patchouli is kind of ever present throughout the actual scent, but I really get tobacco, a little bit of pimento. I've smelled pimento before. A lot of people say that they primarily get pimento, but me, I get a little bit of it. I get mostly tobacco, I get mostly patchouli, and it kind of goes from there. Now, the funny thing is, looking at this fragrance, I was kind of on the fence in terms of what I thought about this fragrance. And I was on the fence because I perfectly, to be perfectly honest, I had been using it as a room refreshener. Like, if somebody was coming over, if I had people coming over, I'd just take a couple spritz. This actually replaced my CK1B bottle that I used to use for those purposes, and I started using this a little bit more for those purposes. And I never could figure out why I couldn't get into it. I, always given my opinion on fragrance, and I kind of picked out the notes, what I smelled, and kind of went through it. But it never really sat with me. It never really sat with a fragrance that I was actually, comfortable with wearing, and I didn't know why. It smelled like something that I had smelled before. I can never put my finger on it. With all my review processes, after I'm done with it, after I'm done, forming my opinion, because I don't want to be influenced by others, then I go through and kind of read what other people thought about it. And other people were kind of picking out the same thing. Yeah, we get tobacco, blah, 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 pimento. And then one person, his name was I Sense Incense on Fragrantica. I read his review and it hit me right there. As soon as he said it, I was like, that's what it is. That's why this smells so familiar, and that's why I can't wear it. He said that it smells like Old Spice, and it immediately jogged my memory, and I was like, yes, it smells like a more refined version of Old Spice. And the reason why I can't wear it is because my father used to wear Old Spice like crazy growing up, and that was one of the most familiar scents to me kind of growing up. That was one of the scents that he actually wore. And because of it, that's why it never really stuck to me as a scent that I could wear. It stuck to me more like a scent around me as a room scent, because that's what I always smelled around. It was him basically wearing something wearing Old Spice basically, and this smells like Old Spice. That's why I wasn't able to get into it. So going off with Old Spice, I honestly say yes, this does smell like a more refined version of Old Spice. Hence the reason why I cannot wear it. Old Spice, it's a good smelling scent, but it just jogs up too many memories for me. Just jogs up kind of like a feeling in my head that I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable wearing this because it, again, is my father's scent. I don't want to be reminding my father 24/7. It's not like we have a bad relationship or anything like that. I just don't like thinking of my father all the time. Just take with it what you will. That's what I get from this scent. So going off with it, I generally go about 2 to 4 sprays with it during the testing phase. Again, this is not something that I wear on the regular, especially now that I know that it smells like Old Spice, and now that I know that it smells like my father, it's not something that I wear So 2 to 4 sprays. I personally think. Okay, I honestly say it could be worn by anyone 25 and up. I'm partial to it. I think it smells like an old man because it was worn on an old man. So I am definitely biased to the scent. Yes, so take with it what you will. I think it can be worn year round. I think it's definitely a scent that you can definitely wear to work, can definitely wear out casually, but I wouldn't wear it, beyond anything for that. So, and also keep in mind, this entire review is tinged with that taint, basically, that this is something that my father smelled like, and so, yeah, so all these are, I guess you could say, kind of tainted by that. But either way. So season, yeah, all year round, definitely age group. This does have very good performance. I got good projection out of it. I got good longevity out of it. 8 to 10, 11, 12 hours type thing out of it. I got good sillage off of it too. People would smell me as I walked away, and it was like that. Nothing really jumps out. When I got people to smell this, there were 67 people who liked it. As with all people, sorry, I should intro that. As with all times, I take fragrances to Times Square and I have random people smell the actual scents and kind of go through it. And I have 100 people smell it. Out of the 100 people, 67 people liked it. They said that it was manly. They said that it was sweet. They said that it was laid back. There were 12 people who disliked it. They said that it smelled like shaving cream, that it smelled too much like an old man fragrance. And there were people who thought that it was neutral, and that was a 21, and it was like a mix between the two. So for a rating, I give this a rating of a 6 out of 10. I would have given it something lower, but I don't think that it's that bad of a fragrance. And the reason why I give it a 6 out of 10, too nostalgic for me. It just reminds me too much of my father. I personally can't wear this. I really do think that just smells like a souped up version of Old Spice. And if you were to ask me one by one, I would probably say, for the price that this is at, go with Old Spice. Now, I don't want to be insulting to say, oh, you made something that smells like Old Spice, so go ahead and wear it. It still is a good fragrance, but it just gives me too much of that reminder. Some other people may get something completely different from this, and that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly fine, right? But on the flip side, it is a nice tobacco scent, and I do have to give it that. The tobacco in this is really well done. It's not overpowering, not overbearing. It's not too raw. It's very sweet, very smooth, very refined. And so for that, I would definitely, give Miller Harrow still a 6 out of 10. Or Feuilles de Tabac, a 6 out of 10. Right? Any questions on this, please feel free. Leave me a message, send me a note, do whatever you got to do. Thank you. Take care of yourselves and have a great day.